observe yourself in the mirror each morning as you prepare to face another day. You recognize that tired face, that gaze hiding more than it reveals. Behind your eyes lies a universe of thoughts that never stop spinning, and you wonder, why? Why, despite all the information you accumulate, all the books you read, all the intellectual conversations you maintain, do you still feel that emptiness? Arthur Schopenhauer understood this before you did, before all of us. While the world celebrated reason as salvation, he saw the trap that no one wanted to acknowledge. The intellect is an instrument at the service of the will, he wrote. But no one really wanted to hear what he was saying. You believe your intellect will save you. You believe that if you could just understand a little more, if you could just be a little smarter, if you could just connect one more idea with another, then you would find peace. But let me ask you something that perhaps you've never dared to formulate. When was the last time all that intelligence made you truly happy? Schopenhauer saw it with crystal clarity. Intelligence turns us into privileged spectators of our own tragedy. The more you know, the more you see the suffering inherent in existence. While others live in relative ignorance of their own chains, you have developed an acute awareness of the bars of your cage. Schopenhauer wrote, "Life swings like a pendulum backward and forward between pain and boredom." And you, in your eagerness to escape boredom, have accumulated knowledge after knowledge, only to discover that the pain has become more refined, deeper. Your mind hasn't freed you. It has shown you more clearly the limits of your freedom. Haven't you noticed? The happiest people you know aren't necessarily the brightest, and the great geniuses of history rarely found peace in their minds. Observe a child playing. They don't need to understand the world to enjoy it. They don't need to analyze everything to feel fulfilled. But you have chosen to know. And now, you cannot stop seeing. Schopenhauer understood that the will, that blind and irrational force that drives all existence, uses intelligence as its tool. It makes you believe that understanding is the same as overcoming. It makes you believe that knowing is the same as healing. But the truth is that each new piece of knowledge shows you a new abyss. And here is the secret that no one dares to tell you. Intelligence is not a path to happiness. It is a path to lucidity. And lucidity rarely coincides with peace. Do you know the true weight of being conscious? The true cost of seeing beyond the illusions that sustain everyone else? Schopenhauer's hidden secret is not that intelligence is useless. It's that intelligence reveals truths that most prefer not to see. It shows you the emptiness behind desires. It reveals the permanent dissatisfaction of the will. It strips you bare before the reality of a world that wasn't designed to satisfy you. And yet, you continue accumulating knowledge. You keep searching for answers. You keep believing that the next book, the next article, the next idea will finally give you what you're looking for. Schopenhauer understood something fundamental. All satisfaction, or what is commonly called happiness, is really and essentially always negative and never positive. Do you understand what that means for you? It means that all that intellectual pursuit is not bringing you closer to happiness. At best, it's temporarily moving you away from pain. And here we arrive at the point where words begin to fail, where the intellect shows its limits. What if I told you that true wisdom begins where intelligence ends? What if I told you that Schopenhauer, that brilliant pessimist, found a way out? He found it, not in more knowledge, but in 3 unexpected places. First, in aesthetic contemplation. When you completely lose yourself in a work of art, in a piece of music, in the pure beauty of something, for a moment, your intellect stops serving the will. For a moment, you are free. Second, in compassion. When you truly feel another's suffering as your own, you transcend the illusion of separation that your intellect has constructed. The barrier between you and the world dissolves. And third, in the denial of the will itself. Not through more thought, but through its transcendence. Do you begin to see it now? The secret is not in being more intelligent. It's in knowing when to let intelligence step aside. Schopenhauer, that man who saw the suffering inherent in existence more clearly than almost any other philosopher, left us an extraordinary paradox. Salvation does not come from understanding more, but from transcending the need to understand. Your mind will never be satisfied. It will always want more. It will always find a new problem, a new doubt, a new lack. But there are moments, fleeting but real moments, in which you can experience something beyond thought, something that no book can give you, something that no theory can fully explain. I'm not telling you to abandon your intellect. I'm inviting you to recognize its limits. Intelligence has brought you this far. It has allowed you to see the problem, but it won't be what takes you beyond. The world as representation, Schopenhauer said. Everything you perceive is filtered by your mind, constructed by it. Even this moment, these words are being processed and reinterpreted by your intellect. But what lies beneath all that? What is there when words run out? There is an experience waiting for you beyond thought, one that I cannot describe to you, because doing so would reduce it again to the realm of intellect. Do you remember when you were a child? Before words filled your head? Before you knew how to name and categorize every experience? There was an immediacy to your existence then, a presence that didn't need to justify itself with reasons. That presence is still there, beneath all the layers of thought you have accumulated. Schopenhauer, despite his pessimism, showed us a path, not toward more knowledge, but toward the direct experience of what he called the thing in itself. And here is the uncomfortable truth. You will never want to be intelligent again in the way you have been until now. You will never want to return to that form of intelligence that keeps you separate from life, that turns you into a perpetual observer instead of a participant. Because there is another way of knowing, one that doesn't divide, but unites, one that doesn't analyze, but experiences, one that doesn't name, but feels. Are you willing to take that leap? Are you willing to risk the comfort of your intellect for the possibility of something deeper? I'm not asking you to stop thinking. I'm inviting you to discover what lies beyond thought. Schopenhauer wrote, "Music represents no idea. It expresses the metaphysics of all that is physical in the world, the thing in itself of every phenomenon. There are experiences your intellect cannot contain. Moments when the map dissolves and you find yourself, finally, in the real territory. And that's where true wisdom begins. I'm not asking you to believe me. I invite you to verify it for yourself. The next time you find yourself trapped in the labyrinth of your thoughts, ask yourself, What is there when I stop thinking? Not to evade, but to immerse myself more deeply in reality. I'm not asking you to believe me. I invite you to verify it for yourself. Schopenhauer saw the abyss, but he also saw what lay beyond. And perhaps, just perhaps, you can see it too. If you've made it this far, there's something in you that recognizes this truth. Something deeper than your intellect. Let me know in the comments a single word that resonates with what you've felt. Not thought, but felt, while listening to this. And if you believe someone else needs to hear this message, share it. Because sometimes, true intelligence lies in knowing when to let go of the need to understand everything.